Ростех открывает дорогу научным прорывам и внедряет новейшие технологии, приближая будущее и делая его доступным для каждого. Постоянно двигаясь вперед, мы придаем импульс развитию страны и улучшаем качество жизни людей. Реализуя самые смелые идеи, мы внедряем в производство передовые разработки, которые уже сегодня являются основой мирового технологического лидерства России. Мы поднимаемся в небо, достигая новых высот и сокращая расстояния между городами и целыми континентами. Меняя повседневность и расширяя границы возможного, мы преобразуем мир вокруг нас в интересах всей страны и каждого человека. Мы не останавливаемся на достигнутом и непрерывно совершенствуемся, стоим на страже безопасности и мирного будущего. Ростех. Партнер в развитии.
Добрый день, уважаемые участники форума. Рад приветствовать нашу офлайн и онлайн.
Glad to greet our online and offline audience. So we are going to have a panel discussion on digitalization of art or arts in the web space. We are going to talk about some specific trends, about specific experience of the art institutions, their experience in digitalization. It's an open secret that art is moving towards digitalization. After the internet web has been created, this process got started. First, these were just cautious steps. Now, it has gained momentum, and we can witness a great number of multimedia projects. And the pandemic has accelerated the process. This trend will not be reversed as the arts are moving into the web space. Now we are going to discuss with our speakers how they see the future of arts, how the arts will be influenced by digitalization, and we'll discuss interesting projects aimed at luring viewers into web space. As the forum is about economy, we will discuss economic aspects as well. First, let me introduce our speakers. Ksenia Lishenko, producer, Conflict Studio. Anna Marchenko, Artifacts Director General, CEO. Boris Mashkovtsev, the Soyuz Multfilm Cartoon Animation Studio. And the director of the folk arts, Marina Lashak, Director General of the State Museum of Arts named after Pushkin, Vladimir Apredelionov, Deputy Director on Digital Development of the Pushkin Museum, and our foreign guest, Eloy Martinez de la Pera Celada, Curator of Art and Fashion Projects, Founder and General Director of Sin Titulo. Good morning, good afternoon.
David Salazar,
and David Salazar and Francisco Salazar. They represent Internet Project OperaWire. They are from Italy. Good afternoon.
Ну что ж, мы сегодня попытаемся охватить практически все сферы
We are going to talk about all areas of arts.
музеев.
Let's start
Первое слово
with the museums.
предоставить Марине Деловне и Владимиру Викторовичу.
And so the floor is given to Marina Delovna and Vladimir Viktorovich. So the question is,
Повлияло на
this concept, arts in the web space, how is it adapted to museums? What multimedia projects are being realized by your museums, and what is the targeted public? Good morning, dear friends. I'd like to say that it's very nice to be here with you against the background of our Olympic room hall. We feel motivated and inspired by it. The life of a museum should be very much alive. And the coronavirus pandemic made us more flexible, and we had to make so many moves within a short period of time. So these last 3-4 months, we were not present in the walls of our museums, but we had to maintain contacts and communication with a big audience who also stayed home. That's why we did our best and tried to move our new ideas and projects, trying to meet our audience in a lockdown. Despite great difficulties and despite the survival through very hard times, we've made achievements, breakthroughs in digitalization of arts. This has been a very productive and breakthrough time. We've demonstrated our huge potential of a museum in digitalization. We improved our contacts with our audience. We are a museum of world art, and so we stayed in touch with all our partners, colleagues, friends, and we've acquired new contacts in the online community. And we are very happy about it. So we've implemented many international projects where we combined efforts of many individuals, curators, painters, creative intellectuals, museum managers, and launched projects which showed new formats and aspects of communication. We did it in TD format, which is being improved all the time. Now we are introducing 4D format, and it will make a journey through our expositions more organic. So we've launched many interesting mini projects to show new things and to attract new viewers. And we invented new formats, new contents, and all creative intellectuals of the museum took part in it. So the slide says that we have expanded our loyal audience and we attracted new fans. Actually, we are located in Moscow, and many viewers are located in other Russian regions. So the objective was to get online, to bring online our regional viewers, and we managed to do it. We shot a few films just to see how it will work inside the museum space. And these attempts were quite successful. Our audience assessed them quite positively, and they wanted the continuation of our efforts. We asked our viewers to ask questions in online format and to give comments. And the viewers were quite active in our online communication. They were saying what were their interests. So it was an interaction and very close contact that really improved our work. And you know, you can't have such contacts in real life. It can't be that interactive. It can be achieved only in an online communication. So our excursions covered about 7 million people, and it's quite an impressive figure. I was actually very much impressed by the possibilities of online communication. We made some excursions on modern painters, Dmitry Utov, for example. We opened this show in an online format, and it gathered just 1.5 hours excursion. It gathered more than 1,200,000 viewers. Actually, it's a rather specific topic that requires very specific interests and even expertise. And so it makes us to make some specific conclusion. Our audience is really very advanced, it has good education, and is able to communicate with very serious topics and subjects at quite an extensive period of time. So maybe the pandemic is the best time for such an extended contact, but it shows that a human being is able for it. Because I thought prior to the pandemic that the human being have changed. People cannot be that meditative and perceive a very complex and complicated topic. Another interesting point, we launched our Pushkin Museum Academy that provides a lot of opportunities. And actually, many viewers are very interested in education through such a format. It's a very comfortable and convenient digital platform, online academy, launched in 2019. We have more than 300,000 viewers. Actually, it was even more than we could have counted on. And this platform has a really bright future, and we are going to develop it. It's our targeted audience is young people, 14 to 20 years, and children. It's also a very creative, communicative environment, and we think that it will be these projects will be most important for us in the future. I'm just saying that what we're doing now and all this is connected to the understanding of social responsibility. That's why we try to have a free access to provide a free access to our viewers, because we felt that we need to support our viewers. That's why it was gratis. Now the times are changing. Conditions are really very harsh for us. We do not have many reserves, no additional funding, and museums' walls are really empty. We earn 4 times less than in pre-crisis times. That's why we decided to focus on monetizing our new approaches, because the business model of a museum wouldn't be as it used to be in the past. So we're considering various opportunities. We're trying to make it possible to generate revenues for a museum, and at the same time so that it would be quite accessible and affordable for our viewers. So we have expanded our opportunities for communication many times. Now we're part of a big global world. Actually, it's quite a habit it's a tradition for our museum, because we are a museum of world arts, but still it becomes more intense. Actually, we have more Zoom communication, and we continue to stay in Zoom because it helps a lot to improve the efficiency of communication. We do not waste time on trafficking, and at the same time we can cover a greater audience. So we've come together with a team of very talented team members, colleagues. They show their impressions. They want to improve our contents. So both in real life and online, we want to improve the activities of the museum. Could you add, Vladimir? Yes, I'm going to show you some videos. I want to show you some advanced technologies, digital technologies, as they are used by our museum. So the Pushkin Museum, we have 29 buildings in Moscow. So it means that we have to preserve all this treasure of ancient civilizations that have to be brought to people. And without a clear-cut strategy of digital development, we cannot preserve this treasure. So what we are doing now, digitalization of collections, that's what we are doing now.
And thanks to it, we think in a traditional form, so to save the institution of culture, translation and giving access on the modern technologies. And the key moment is the digital legacy. So not with all which have already digitalized, but also with the digital art pieces. And for us, it's a separate big direction for work. And today we work on a concept to transmit from the understanding of digitalization and to creation. Digitalization, I think, in the future, it will be a lot of scientific international work on it subject. So as far as for the digitalization, I think everyone knows this, but also it related to very difficult things like direct lighting, ultrasound diapasons, so complicated issue. Also creating the scientific photo archives and 3D archives, for example, ancient piece of arts which needed to be conserved. And today we need to think the quality of digitalization of these images. And for us it's very important. It's one of the priorities to extend it due to digital technologies and have access to our piece of art. And of course, very important part is the creation of future complex of museum portal. And today we have already been creating this in the interactive format, and curator of the exhibition, you can see how the creator uses, so how the curator can project it with using all the interactive means. So the portal is built in the format 3D, and there is opportunity to synchronize it with the database. So we transmit the digital objects, create the space on the museum, and we make installation of the piece of art and can project it how it will be in the future. We can check hypotheses, and also we plan to give this system to train future specialists. But also it's important to preserve the history of our projects. So what helps us to create such big amount of online excursions, which were very popular, and they are still popular. So this is the answer, because we were thinking about the creation of the digital space, of the digital exhibitions. And suddenly we already faced the situation, and we did it. You can see now how it looks in reality. For example, the unique project went inside of the museum. So it was integrated archive photos. So this project exists only in virtual form, and I think it's a new form, a new opportunity for online work, for museum online work. All these are available on museum website. You can find it, and breakthrough technology which you use, the technology of Navigator 4D, you can see on the left on your screen. You can see all this sign. It is a photo which was made. So, and it was done 20,000 photos, and it was done digital exhibition which can be used now. So this is the breakthrough technology, and we think this is the future. Unique products also. So in the forum, the full virtual reality. And it's not related to substitute the original one. No, this is about the access for the big amount of viewers, because 7 million people have already seen it, and total amount is 1.5 million people visited us. So it means everyone who would like to visit our museum, so this queue can be as long as many years can be taken to stay in the real queue. Thank you very much. We are ready to answer questions. So we finish our presentation. Thank you very much, Marina, Vladimir. So what you told us, so it's quite surprising things and numbers. So on one hand, this is a giant growth and audience extension, millions of people, and Pushkin's museum, one of the largest world museum, and it's true.
По сути дела,
So
сейчас любой житель планеты
any
может посетить любой музей, и это потрясает.
anyone who
С
lives on
другой
our
стороны,
planet can
меня
visit your
очень
museum
заинтересовали те
with the online
экономические
access.
итоги
And also I'm
пандемии
interested of this
и
economic
ваше
result of
движение
pandemic and your
в
movement
сторону
towards web
веб-технологий.
technologies.
Как вы все-таки считаете,
So,
я
what do you
единственное
think?
прошу очень кратко ответить, будет ли
Please answer shortly.
использование
What do you
цифровых
think?
технологий и переход в
Whether the
веб-пространство
digital
способствует
technologies
обеспечению монетизации
will
музеев
help
и
to optimize
решению такой
monetization of
острой для нашей
museums,
страны проблемы, как
because it's
финансирование
quite
искусства.
acute problem for our country, like monetizing art. We hope that it will be effective and perspective, and today we can tell, for example, children excursions, which we offer for a certain amount of money, online excursions, they are already sold. It means there is a potential, a big potential for online excursions. And I'm sure, so this has huge potential, but also I need to think about also social aspect of the museum, because we have to think about this. We need to establish some kind of battle, design a balance to generate money and also to provide for the society something for free. And I give a floor, thank you very much, I give a floor our next speaker, Елена Викторовна Титова. Please provide microphone to Елена. Елена Викторовna, could you please tell us about your experience of movement to the virtual reality? Hello, everyone. Yes, experience was very interesting. Of course, after first shock, which experienced our museum, because museum always fought for this balance of the physical attracting users. We always calculated how many visitors came to us. Now, after pandemic started and we already opened, now we calculate audience. So, and these people who are coming now, it's a result of work which we did during pandemic. So, and we can say the audience extended, or more or less. So, big breakthrough done in our museum too. But this is audience. But as far as for the real visitors, who needs content, atmosphere, and also impressions? This is a question. So, will we be able to produce a virtual product which provide not only contact but also impressions and atmosphere? We will try. We will do our best. So, and our museum works with elderly, with the children, with young generation, those who are interested to learn the material, the object, also to feel it, to be close with the object, tactile feeling. So this is possible at the level of very high-tech technologies, very serious development, which is close to the physical interaction with the collection of the museum. And I would like to tell also that pandemic brought to us positive results also, because we launched the second competition, Old Russia competition. It's about the object design, and we've got great response from all over the country. And we made the second stage actually during the pandemic time. So museum had been living in the virtual environment, and we've got a very good result. So on our project activities, for me, it's very important to understand now that we were not really ready for this lockdown. We were not ready, but that we've seen, we saw mobilization, we without additional resources. We made several breakthroughs, and it resulted in the positive growth. And now we have made some conclusions. We know new tools how to work with the audience, and we can detect audience from the visitors. So we overcome the difficulties, and we have made positive conclusions. So, and we need to make a balance between the subjects whom we can provide web environment and objects, the visitors who need atmosphere, who need impressions, who need time spending. Thank you, Elena Viktorovna. And one more small question, because I just felt some kind of worries about digital trends. Probably I misunderstood. Could you please tell us, do you feel that after this pandemic time, do you feel that in the art sphere there is some kind of competition for the audience? Like when on offline format, it's very clear how it works. Different types of museums, and people go according to their interests. So it depending on the person's interest and desire. But now, when everyone moved to the online format, there is a new type of competition of media projects. Those who provide more interesting, more entertaining project will attract the audience. And it doesn't matter what type of art this company produces. What do you think about this? I don't think it will be a problem in competition. So my worries were about that modern technologies, digital technologies, of course, indeed, they have great potential, and we've seen our colleagues demonstrated this, but of course, we have super product which can be provided for the public and for the scientific research, can cause interest, but in parallel there is competitive story on development of special programs and technologies which simplify like the understanding of art pieces, like it simplify it at the level of TikTok. So that my worry about. So this simplification can attract the youth. So if it goes to different platforms, but there are plenty of platforms, and we need to select, making serious analysis who do what. So, and here it's important to have expert opinion. Here it's important mutual direction. And it's not competition between museums. It's important to unite experts of all museums, because since in Europe was opportunity to open normal work, it was a conference done by our decorative and design art department. It was in June, and all participants of this AID communities, they shared, they asked to tell our colleagues, they shared their experience, what is good, what is not good. So the same what we do now. So here, to find new ways and recommend it to the colleagues, both in our country and in international community. I think this is very important. This is modern approach, and it's polite way. We are all colleagues. We are all work with audience and visitors. So I think principles we should generate together the principles of cooperation. Thank you very much, Elena Viktora. From the Museum Art, we from Museum Art go to animation, and I would like to ask my question to Boris Mashkovsky. Boris, what do you think animated industry, how animated industry passed through pandemic? Tell us about your experience. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So I would say happened something which we already knew happens. I don't mean pandemic, I mean transition to digital world, the global transmission. And I think we were more successful than, let's say, our colleagues from the cinema or similar industries, because animation already were integrated in the digital technologies started in 1980s, and animation was some kind of polygon for testing of all the visualization technologies which are already implemented in the world. So if you look now in the modern web, you can see that 10 years ago it was text environment, but now it's graphics environment, the environment with movement on the screen. We live in the world of movement objects. And I know that other animated studios in Russia, they had the similar way like we. So for us, it took 2 weeks. So for our company company consists of 200 employees, so it took us 2 weeks to go to digital format. So, and our building 5,000 square meters, 200 people, and hundreds of freelancers and outsource employees. It was not easy. Psychologically, it was difficult, but this task was solved fast and effectively. For us, it was like a switch on, switch off. So we come from the position A, analog, and go to the position B, digital. And so I'm just mean general global situation. So before it took us 15 years to move from analog world to digital world. So you can see how it existed in the Soviet time and the black and white photo. So this is the classical animated studio in 20th century. The same Disney. So hundreds of people who, like a factory, like on the conveyor liner, they make mechanical operations, and some of them were very inconvenient because first you drew these pictures manually. It's a very slow type of art. So we can't impact very fast. But imagine in our sphere, it took us 2 weeks to move into digital world. And of course, we wanted to make it more visual, I mean computer graphic. So, and the color picture, colorful picture, this is nowadays Soyuz Multfilm. So, and it produces twice faster. This is the project Простоквашино. This is classics of our studio. We do the same work which our predecessor made. We made, for 3 years, we made 30 series, but before it took 3 series for 3 years. And look, we always look at our internal world, how the numbers impacted on us, what changes, how genre changes. Let's look at the audience, what happened with the audience, because audience live also in this digital world. So cinema, TV, home video, TV channel. So this is full way of video content. It's always finished story, short or long, but finished story. So, and the viewer were ready to watch even tragedy, because the viewer knew that the tragedy has the end, and after the end, he can go into the real world. But And now 21st century, all the cinematographers, especially animators, they faced new reality because every year several animated projects launched, and not every of them went on TV because market is different. Yes, we still have cinema, but the audience is smaller. TV developed, but it's not all audience because we have online, social network, mobile applications, games. A lot of new things appeared we didn't exist before. Games licensing is more than the volume of sales of cinema tickets. So it means games won the cinemas, but this is the same audience in terms of age. World has changed, and we have to accept it. So, and now full finished story doesn't work anymore because people are living now in virtual world like in real world. And this device, like a device for communication with people. So we communicate face-to-face through this device. And it's a big day that we are sitting together here, face-to-face, on the chairs. And the modern viewer wants to see serials. Children and adults, we would like to watch long stories. We don't want to finish them. We want to know what's going on. And what about content? What happens with content? Before we produced professional content and sold it for money. Today, every person can generate its own content, any person, and provide this content for free, because now we don't want to pay for content. We can get for free from our friends, whatever, from whomever, from internet. And we're ready to buy algorithm. So what Instagram made? Instagram made provided for us good filters for our homemade videos, and we can improve it by this filter. So this is algorithm. So sometimes algorithm is more expensive than content because content moves very fast somewhere. But algorithm provided several positions. It started as the viewer, and then at the beginning of the 21st century it was co-partner, and then viewer. So it's our main competitor. We are on the one ground altogether. I wanted to do a circle. I am not an artist, so this is my drawing. But it's about what Mosfilm produce. We produce expensive, not fast cinema, slow cinema. And due to technologies of digitalization, animation, games. So games already have dramaturgy and edit virtual reality. What we only start learning. UGC using generated content. This is what the viewers do. And as a result, we can see that in the modern world of web, animation is not a sphere of the art activity. This is animation is a language of communication. You can send smiling, and this is what? Gift. It's gift animation. So it's not my words, it's Anatoly Valentinovich Prokhorov said, our philosopher, who said we had passed evolution way. So wall, pictures, pictograms, texts, alphabet texts, and now we communicate through the pictures, and it's interesting what will be in the future. Boris, thank you very much. Indeed, it was very interesting. So you just dived in the digital world. And now we will speak with the representatives of Internet company about how they realize project in the art sphere. I give the floor our online speaker, Anton Danilov, the manager of
Антон,
reproductive
добрый день.
integrations. Anton, Mail.ru.
Пожалуйста,
Anton, good
расскажите нам
afternoon. Could you please tell
о
us
проектах, которые ваша компания
the
реализовала в
projects which
сфере
your company
искусства.
realized in the art sphere? Good afternoon. Thank you for introducing me. Yes, I am a leader of Mail Group. I work on the platform social networks, and several months ago we launched several video clips, and I will tell you about video projects which we have realized from the beginning of this year, from March, mostly, when we all together stuck at home and learned content distantly. So we have several projects related to art, which is on the video platform of social net Одноклассники, and it's not an easy step, because we noticed that response on art, especially classical one, in social network was very high, and the activity for the previous years was quite a lot. And we all united this in one special portal with the beautiful landing, with the different parts, and devoted it for the art. And this project we realized together with museums. Again, I would like to tell, we wouldn't realize all these projects without museums. So, for example, it's difficult to work with theaters because they're quite not movable, I mean in terms of distant learning, but museums, very easy, very responsive, very initiative, and we have regular partners with Pushkin's Museum, Hermitage Museum, and we know that we launch new project, new technology, which we will monetize in the future, and we will do the advertising project. And from the start, from the beginning, we realized this project with museums in partnership. So, and I already mentioned that museums are very cooperative in these projects, and it helps us to do very interesting projects. One of them, online excursions, which we launched 3 months ago. On the right, you can see QR code on the portal. And one of the part of this is online excursion. So together with museums, on our video platform, we can provide the opportunity for people to visit virtual exhibitions. And I would like to add about video portal. We try to keep clear and standard formats, because our social networks has a lot of users. For example, the Classic has 2 million people, and people have different smartphone devices, and we try to keep the technological level at the average level in order to be available for everyone. And these online excursions are realized on our video platform Translation, so made available for smartphones. All these excursions are available in internet, so it doesn't matter registered and not registered on Одноклассники. In spring and February, we started our preparation for our culture, spring, and in March, a week before the pandemics, before we knew that we had to work distantly, a week before we already launched our project with online excursions, and that's how we were ahead of the situation. We were ready to show audience the museum at home. So, and we did more than 400 translations, and during the spring we had 60 million viewers. This year we managed the project with European museums, so our north, neighbors, Scandinavian partners. This project we realized in May, so we made it with Finland Cultural Department, and it's about 10 translations with 10 big museums, 15-20 minutes. The curator spoke about the collection on Russian language with subtitles, and we had 3 million viewers. So now a series of online excursions every year. On September, this is air, so on chest language. So we do it with the special museums, and also it's online air streaming together with curator, Russian speaking, who's telling about excursion on chest language, and also we have excursion only on chest language. So we try to support this project on our targeted audience, so for disabled people also, and with the targeted. So we have a department in our group, iTarget, which proves good result 3 years in a row. This year in September also we will do project excursions on chest language. One more. In our portal there is virtual exhibitions. So these are work from the big museums on this certain subject. For example, I selected project with 5 Flaman museum. So during the pandemic time we made project with Space Museum, where we worked with the spacemen, astronauts, and recorded their lectures. So, and also we worked with Committee on Tourism. So 10 works which you can find on our portal, 10 famous people, celebrities. So they read the audio guides, and we collected in a beautiful video with infographics, with audio guide, and that's how user can learn 10 different projects and different types of art. Also, there is the viewer can hear only audio guide without video. This project is available from everyone. And if someone wants to know more or to check knowledge, so there is a special test, interactive test, or there are some kind of reward and gifts which are available for the users. So also you can see the tools of promotion. I think you can get this presentation and you can learn it, so that we use and how we promote for our project. And you can use it. You can use our best practice. So it was 1 million viewers for Flaman, 500,000 unique users for 1 month, and 1 flight, and about 1.7 for 1 users. And portal has 4 exhibitions. One is together with Pushkin Museum, one is with Russian Museum with Plamanin, and Space Museum on VDNH. Tomorrow there will be fifth exhibition, will be on our portal. It's devoted to the and it's 10 piece of work, which reflects very well Moscow, a good atmosphere. We'll be very glad if you started this project tomorrow.
And then it will be open for everybody. And I'd like to say a few words about theaters. It's a rather difficult area, but still we are making attempts to organize broadcasting. They are not done on a regular basis, but still we do have some of them from the Mariinsky Theater. We also like to launch niche projects. For example, the opera broadcasting with a joint project last spring. Gessler Opera, which had been waited for a long time, was shown in our video player. It could be watched through our video platform and Snow portal. And one more project. The broadcasting of 12 shows, operas from the Stanislavski Theater. It's both online and offline project. They start, the viewers start watching performance at home or in the theater. The show went on for 6 days, and it was possible to watch it from any point. Then there is some information on about our platform, about its possibilities. I'd say that 30% of the content at our Odnoklassniki platform, which is similar to the Facebook. It's a Russian Facebook, so 30% is video content. Also, I'd like to talk about the specifics of the technologies, but as I don't have time, I won't do it, but you can look through it when you receive my slides. Anton, thank you very much. Your talk is really very interesting. I would like to ask a question. You represent a commercial company, and you have entered the multimedia segment of the market. That means that you see a commercial potential here. Could you say just a few words about it? Yes, I'd say that, to tell you the truth, we do not see many commercial interests here. It's just a sort of enlightenment public information campaign. But for museums, I can see a commercial interest. Actually, I wanted to talk about museums' monetization of platform, but unfortunately I didn't have enough time. If you are interested in this topic, I can add a couple of slides to my presentation. How can museum monetize our platform? It's sort of advertising. But actually we take part in public information campaigns, and it's sort of educational and enlightenment projects. So we switch off all the ads, so we do not pursue any commercial interests here. Thank you very much. Mail.ru should be applauded. You are really great. Now, we'd like to give floor to Andrei Baltenko, producer, director. You directed such a big event at Eurovision 29, the ceremony, opening ceremony of the Winter Olympic Games in Sochi in 2014. What is the impact of the pandemic on offline area? performances, shows. Good afternoon. Actually, we've got an impression that the impact was actually lethal. All live entertainment is suffering greatly. On the other hand, there is a certain reappraisal of values in the whole industry. Maybe many things that were used in the past were not good enough. And some focus said that if it were not for coronavirus, the entertainment, live entertainment events would inevitably die. As, for example, the Olympic Games now is not a very popular event. It's very expensive and too many efforts and too little output. Too much input versus small output. So actually, the next Olympic Games may be held in Beijing because they had infrastructure. Other examples about big shows. Some situations just could have been predicted because there is a certain stagnation of our genre. And though we still like live show, for example, the Du Soleil Circus and its failure, bankruptcy, but still to support, to maintain such company was a very difficult time. The same goes about other theaters against the background of rising online platforms. So the cinema industry is stagnating as well, because there were practically no blockbusters. So the audience got tired, even prior to coronavirus, got tired of such big events. They lost their popularity. And as Buffett said that if the tide goes back, when the tide goes back, we'll see who can swim well. That means that the crisis may destroy many companies, but some will survive and new will arise. Now we are reappraising our values and interests. And sometimes we are governed by herd instincts. But still, there is a general trend set by social networks and by society. And now, when we stayed home in a lockdown, we could have reappraised what is really important for us. So it was a very important time for everybody, and even for the content producers. So it was good to stay home and to think, because I think it's a trend that will make our society healthier. Theater, shows, big shows, and live entertainment will not die. Let's remember the Great Patriotic War, the Second World War. Theaters did not close at that time, And the sociological surveys show that in a time of great social turmoil and upheavals, people need such an energy, entertainment, and theaters and other types of live entertainment can give it. Even when you watch a film, there is no such a live connection as in theater. And I think that this genre just will evolve, will change, but it will survive. And it may start using new technologies in the same way as the museums do. And using this pause, we are making research in augmented reality, added reality, and it may lead to a real breakthrough because many talented players now are involved in this area. For example, immersive shows, it's a new thing. And they're based on interactivity, and viewers like it very much. Viewers, those who take part in these shows, they use masks, and it will protect them against virus and other bad things. So we don't know what the future has in store for us. But still, we just can guess that the situation will change, and the key element will be a possibility of a viewer to feel part of the show. So interactivity will be key, and it will get stronger. That's what happens in the social networks. So viewers want to have the same in live entertainment and in other shows. And an important issue is, of course, funding, finances. It's of importance for everybody. Again, we'll witness a reappraisal of values. Expensive things will grow cheaper, and it will be necessary for the whole industry if it wants to survive. Now the purchasing power is shrinking, and of course we need to make things cheaper. Tickets should get cheaper. And in this country, we have government support, the state supports theaters, but still, it's a big question. Still, I think that the psychology of our Russian viewers mean that they would not be able to perceive low-budget history, which is not beautiful. We have made great breakthroughs, strides in our industry. I mean our TV series, but it has just got started, and we are used to high quality. It means that it will be rather expensive. Okay, please, could you wrap up? Okay, that was my conclusion. So we experience a shortage of financing. We will be able, and we must preserve the quality of our shows. Thank you very much, Andrei. I think that offline art will exist. Let's move on with our dialogue. Now I'd like to invite Ksenia Lishenko. Ksenia, Koflex studio producer, could you talk about the impact of interactive technologies in art? Please just stick to about 5 minutes.
So I would try 5 minutes. Good afternoon, my name is Ksenia Lishenko. I'm a producer studio Koflex. I would like to tell you thank you for the invitation to participate in this forum. Our studio is not big and it always worked distantly even before pandemic. So on one hand, we're interactive art, on the other hand, we're business, and we create digital worlds which can use companies to do this creative promotion. And so if you give me only 5 minutes, then I just go for demonstration what we do, because our product is visual product. And please launch my video, please. Switch on my video. So where there is exhibition which we did in Gallery of Light, which is in Abrauders. So it's interactive exposition, and this project is reflective our activities, our creativity, because we create such type of space where we can interact, where the viewer can interact and feel like he's a part.
Ксения, может быть, вы по ходу тогда будете комментировать, если есть такая возможность?
Ну, вот это общее представление того, что мы делаем, да, это генеративная графика.
So this is the graphics which interacts with the viewer. So we used project with the interactive technologies. Here we use algorithms of the computer vision, also camera sensors, which are for the tracking of movement, human movement. So we founded in 2012, where we created our studio in 2012 together with the artist Igor Tatarnikov. And during these 8 years, we managed to achieve international market. And our main product is programs which we license in all over the world. Thank you. So during pandemic, our studio became lucky because we continued to work on Gallery of Lights, and we built immersive show Yam Есть Глаза, because it was devoted to 150 years of the Russian House of Abrauders. So, and this project helped us economically, and also other companies participated in the productive process. Please switch on other video, because I want the viewers understand what I'm talking about. So we can see immersive space, we can see certain scenarios, quite a big and complicated work. So during pandemic time, a lot have changed for us, because we, in spite of our progressive solutions, we were vulnerable also. And in December, we had Napoleon plans, how we extend our team, how we open our office in Moscow, but situation has changed out of the blue, and we had to correct our ideas and our course. But for us, it was like a professional challenge. And we have decided to work on the current program Cosmos, Koflex. This is a technology which helps to scan artists with the camera of that and makes it on 3D images in the digital world. There are special functions in this program so which
И с апреля этого года
you
мы
can
решили
use and
работать,
manage with the visual
вкусился,
effects.
до,
So we work on
уровня,
space,
когда можно
and we
проводить именно
decided to develop
интерактивные
at the level of
онлайн-трансляции.
interactive online
Взаимодействие
translations.
со зрителем здесь
So
происходит
interaction of the viewer
именно через сообщения в чате.
is
Поэтому,
happening through the
но
chat.
здесь мы решили все-таки совместить полезное с
And here we
полезным
united
и
useful
поддержать
things,
музыкантов,
and we supported
и
musicians,
создать
and we created
настоящее шоу
the
из
real
их
show
домашних
from
онлайн-концертов.
their online
Так
home
родился
concerts.
проект Cosmos Live.
And
И
that's
с
how
апреля по июль
Project
мы
Cosmos
провели
Live started,
три
and during July
музыкальных
we
концерта
made
с
3
разными
musical
музыкантами
concerts with
и
different musicians,
танцевальный перформанс,
so also dancing
который больше был
performance,
похож
which
на
was
квест. Зрители создавали своими
like
сообщениями
quest because
виртуальные
viewers
объекты,
could
и
be
перформер
individual
могла взаимодействовать с ними
objects
в
and
цифровом
performer
мире.
could
Ну, сейчас,
interact
опять
with
же,
them
хотела
in the
попросить
digital
запустить
world.
видео.
Again, I would
Было, в
like to
принципе,
ask
наглядно
to
понятно, о
switch
чем
on
мы говорим.
another video because I would like you to see what I mean.
Как раз видно, что мы вот,
So
у нас
here you can
отсканированы
see
артисты,
so that we scanned our artists in the performing.
Ну, в общем-то, мы делаем ставку на эту программу, потому
So,
что
and
это довольно
we work on this
такой, может быть,
program
универсальный инструмент,
because
и
it's some kind
использоваться
of
он может в
universal
совершенно
tool. It
разных
can be used in
областях,
different
и особенно нам,
spheres.
конечно,
And
интересна
of course, for us, it's
образовательная сфера.
interesting the educational sphere,
Параллельно наша команда
sphere of education. In
сосредоточилась
parallel,
на
our
развитии
team focused on
удаленной настройки
development,
своих программ,
on remoting,
и
adjusting
приятно,
of the
что
programs,
всё-таки
and
сейчас проекты стали
it's nice
запускаться, и
that this
вот
project
буквально на
started
прошлой
to be
неделе,
launched, and
нам
last
удалось
week
настроить несколько
we managed
программ
to install
за
several
рубежом.
programs
И вот буквально на
abroad,
следующей неделе
and
произойдет
next week,
презентация интерактивной
so we will
инсталляции.
present
Quantum,
interactive installation,
вот она.
this one, Quantum Space.
Ладно, неважно. Ну, важно, что она произойдет в инклюзивном
So, and it will be an inclusive art center in England, and we believe that this kind of centers will be opening in Russia also, and we will become a part of such projects. So, and to sum it up, I would like to underline the pandemic time. So we made a very important investment in our team. We launched Project Cosmos Live. We created internal project which motivated everybody for the development, for the moving ahead. And everyone in our team, we worked for the team. We were extremely motivated and creative. And we always were independent studio. We never were looking for the external investments, but such company like Abrauderso always supported us. They didn't limit us with one project only, so it gave us opportunity to develop different programs and projects, and it's very important. So pandemic time helped us to realize how important flexibility, trust, cooperation, agreement with the partners. And of course, nowadays, we, of course, a little bit frustrated what will happen in the future, but as a techno enthusiast, we believe in our products, we believe that situation will be changed for the better, and we believe that competition for these markets will give us big opportunities for development in different spheres. And also would like to add that we have plan of development, and we would like to develop new technologies, particularly creative ones, because we know and believe in big ideas. Thank you very much, Ksenia. It was very interesting indeed, new technologies, and I would say new type of art. So, and from new art, we go to traditional art, so but in digital world, and I invite for discussion our speakers from Italy.
So, David and Francisco Salazar, we're glad to welcome you here. Please, could you tell us how Does a traditional art opera has manifested itself in the digital world? Could you talk about your projects and how do you see a digital opera in the future?
Good afternoon. We're actually here from New York. So we run a website called operawire.com, which is a news service that um, reports daily on the happenings of the opera world all around the world. And over the course of the pandemic, we have noticed a shift in terms of how things have changed. First off, opera companies started to shut down in early March, just like most arts organizations, most industries. And the initial reaction to this was for major opera companies that had recorded digitally to go into their catalogs and to simply start offering them for free. So among these companies, you have the Metropolitan Opera, you had the Vienna State Opera, all of these many of the larger companies that you recognize in Europe, those are the ones that start to get at the forefront of presenting these digital broadcasts right from the beginning. What then happened is that more grassroots company, more independent opera companies started to also follow in line. But what they started to do was that they started to offer up smaller concerts, pre-recorded concerts that they would offer up online services like YouTube or their own personal websites. From there, the larger companies also started to adopt slowly to bringing in live streamed performances from their stages or pre-recorded concerts from their stages. And from there, the situation started to evolve to the situation where we are in today, which is a more of a hybrid model.
Today we're seeing a lot of companies presenting operas in live, but they also have limited audiences. They're also presenting operas and broadcasting them to the public through the internet. And they're also presenting more concert performances as opposed to productions and socially distancing them. They're using the outdoor productions as well, but that's being something that has been done for these past few months as well.
Yes. So to speak to what my brother was stating about socially distanced productions, one of the major companies that has met in early July, the Teatro Real de Madrid was one of the first companies to put on a live production of opera. And what they did was that they did La Traviata over the course of 27 days throughout July with numerous different casts. And what they did was that they sectioned off each part of the stage, and each singer was allowed that simple space within the space, and they could not leave it. And they staged the entire opera in that manner. To this point, some other companies have adjusted and offered up similar strategies. But for example, some of them are going much more traditional route, like the Salzburg Festival, which had a very successful 100th anniversary recently. And they went more traditional route with their approach to productions, but then they instituted different rules and regulations to allow for safe testing for the virus.
A lot of companies are also adopting 90-minute performances, no intermissions. So in Italy, for example, they performed in Arena di Verona, and they performed a lot of their festivals outdoors, but they only had 90-minute productions that had no intermissions, so that there was no congregation within. In America, however, a lot of companies have all canceled their fall seasons and have went completely digitally. And in some cases, some are doing outdoor performances and performing in tents, but there's really no productions happening here in the United States live.
Yes.
Большое спасибо.
Thank you very much.
Большое спасибо, коллеги. Действительно, очень интересно.
Yes, it's a very interesting experience.
Хотелось бы пожелать удачи.
And I'd like to wish you good luck and good luck to your project, because opera is a very important art.
Искусство
It's a traditional art. We want to preserve it, but at the same time, this art has a huge potential in the digital, so we hope that it will develop in the digital space. Thank you very much. Now we are moving to Spain, and so our next speaker is Eloy Martínez de la Pera Celada. Eloy, could you talk about your experience of inviting young people into cultural projects? And another traditional question, how does pandemic impact on the art in Spain, and how is recovery going, if it's going?
Good afternoon from Spain. As you know, Andrei Volchenko said, live entertainment will not die. I can tell you that in art, there is nothing like the physical encounter with the original work of art, because just the original work of art, I believe, that can transmit the full emotions any single artist wanted to transmit when they produce a work of art, or they produce a garment, a dress that is going to be exposed in whatever museum around the world. Then the only thing I do is to pray that the digital enrich the physical work of art, but that never ever replace the real work of art. I want to think that the current scenario is just a conjunctural scenario. It's not an structural one, and that in months or even in a year, we are going to get back to the reality, the museums that we were living, just 8 months ago. But despite of that, I think that we don't need to be afraid of using all of the resources that we have in our times in new technologies, new channels of communication, in order to make public event a much enriched and growth experience. We need to create a new rebirth of art. I think that we need to create a new humanism where we have an inclusive culture where all the digital is our ally. But for me, the most important is that in a couple of months, in 1 year, we need to continue seducing new publics. I think we need the corridors of all the museums of the world packed with millennials. We need to bring new publics to visit these amazing works of art created by the biggest artists in the history of humanity. Then we need to seduce, and we have all the digital, we have the web, we have internet, we have the new channels of communications, and mainly we have the social networks in order to bring these people to our museums. We need to work and to make very effective our exhibitions. In my last show, it was Balenciaga and the Spanish painting. I make a big promise that was to bring young generations, millennials, the generation, to the Thyssen Museum to discover Balenciaga, but at the same time to discover Greco, to discover Goya, to discover Velázquez. And I can tell you that social media was essential in order to bring these people. They were essential to make streamings. YouTube 1 year before explain the making of a fashion exhibition. We work with the influencers in order to involve them in the exhibition before the opening, because I think that the public needs to know what happens behind the scenes of an exhibition. Then we have been working very close to the millennials in order to be our channel to seduce the new publics. Because I think that, as soon as you have a young person within a museum, you have 30 minutes to seduce him, because in a way, this person is at our disposal in order to present the thing that I believe that transforms each one of us. And that's the role of art.
Элой,
Art
простите, что
has been
прерываю
the
вас.
biggest
Элой, у
storytelling.
нас просто сейчас закончится трансляция. Буквально, если есть возможность, еще 1 минута.
I'm sorry, but you have just 1 minute left because soon the
Okay,
translation will be
because,
over.
I just want to say that art has been always the best storytelling of our world. And I think that we need to work in order to keep on doing that.
Большое спасибо. Большое спасибо.
Thank you very much.
за
It's
ваше
really very
выступление.
interesting.
Действительно, это очень интересно. Молодая аудитория.
Young people
Фактически это будущее искусства.
is our future of the art. So let's wrap up our dialogue on the Z generation, and I give floor to Anna Marchenko, Artifacts Director General. How is art defined by the Z generation?
Thank you very much. And I would like to start. First of all, Artifacts, which I represent today, this is mass media, and our main target to make popular art. So our focus on young generation, people from 16 years old up to 38 years old. And one of our key development vector is YouTube channel. Boris already mentioned that we live in the world of movement objects, and it's absolutely true, because we already have moved from the clip thinking to the visual acception of information. And YouTube, this is platform which combines many functions which are interesting for Z generation and which are interesting for the audience, nowadays audience. And that's why we faced new tasks. If we want to monetize our story, if we want to monetize our ideas, and if we want to get support and to promote our content and art, we need to focus on young generation, for those who create and make trends now. And now let's move to my topic, to my presentation. Please, I would like to be short. I would like it to be short. And most important, what we need to understand of our modern audience, that so influencers, bloggers can impact them very much, and this is very important to remember when you work with the young generation. So, how to get use, how to attract them to the museums, how to attract them to exhibitions. Just through influencers, through bloggers, through people whom they trust to, through people whom they watch to. So that's why, first of all, we need to find blogger with the million subscribers, connect them, select the platform, make videos, make excursion, to make something interactive. And then this is the only secret how to popularize the art. Probably I don't have enough time to tell about genres and formats, the popular ones. I would like to tell you that thank you very much that you invite me. Thank you that you attracted attention on us, on our mass media. And it's very good that here so many representatives of the art are here all together. For me, it was very interesting to listen to my colleagues, and I hope very soon we will see development of art sphere in the future. Thank you very much. Sphere of art is eternal, but the time of our session is limited, and our session is all. We have to finish it, and of course we try to cover as much as possible, as many spheres as possible, but there is not enough time to cover everything. But I hope that our today's discussion will be the starting point for the new developments, for the new internet projects in the art sphere, for museums, for museum communications, multimedia technologies. And thank you very much, all of you, for participation, for offline, online participants. Thank you, speakers, very much, and very interesting dialogue. Good luck.